the Nile water around in the stake. Sudan government talked to the African countries saying that the Nile water issue is the issue of Egypt, it's not our issues. However, they'll tell issue that yes, we are with you, but they are negotiating on the other terms. I think that's a strategic mistake because this is the interest of both nations and we've got to secure it pretty much. But if we play politics with it, because a few days ago the defense minister was in Ethiopia. He's talking to the Ethiopians that they can bring troops to Abyei. Yeah. And also they are discussing the water issues. That tends to be very dangerous, I think, for Egypt. That is, they shouldn't dealt with the tactical issue and give up the strategic choices that at the end people will pay a price for it. So we need to go on and move beyond this narrow agenda that we're
I want to comment only for one point, very important. About the regime in Sudan, this is up to the people of Sudan. They have to choose the governor and the government, whatever.
Can Egypt do anything about this?
No,
This is what I'm sensing from Dr. Ali. He's expecting Egyptian input in the future of the Sudanese government, which is really a sovereignty issue.
Our role is that just to make to talk to Khartoum and to talk to people of Juba, that they come together and there is no time for war, and now it's time for development, and better to because they have to coexist together. There is no way. And people wanted in Juba to have their own state, but to cooperate with the North. And it's a must now that Egypt and other people, other countries who love Sudan and care about Sudan, talk with the two parties to solve all, because the problems were known before the 9th of January. The referendum time. All these problems were known. The borders, the petrol, the identity of the people who are in the north wants to go to south, and all these issues were raised before the referendum. So now it's coming to talk together. Whatever problems are there, whatever I'm very optimistic that all these problems can be dealt with, and we can come to.
Let me ask you: do you think the SPLA can regain control of Abyei?
Who?
SPLA.
No, now there is no Abyei, or because this will be a very big issue. Abyei must be dealt by negotiations. There is no other way except negotiation, because it is very strategic point for petrol and also for borders and also for tribes. All these complications must be dealt by negotiation, point by point. If Khartoum
is the environment conducive for negotiation? There is really very little willingness to negotiate with the current government. Am I reading you correctly?
That's correct.
No, but this is the reality. Usually, you must deal. They dealt with. You must deal. They dealt with that government, and they have to continue dealing with it, because this is the de facto government. You have to deal it. If you have better choices, this is another story, but there is no.
I think, Your Excellency, history within this region over the past few months has shown that there is no de facto government per se. I mean,
no, I mean in Khartoum,
the people are dictating.
No,
nowadays.
this is for the North. The government now in Khartoum, this is the one who the southern people must deal with. There is no other way. If they wanted another way of discussion or negotiation, this is the only.
Do you think, a hypothetical question, do you think what's taking place maybe the government is trying to show the South who will be the boss in the future relationship?
That is why I say coexistence means that to live together and live almost to live in acceptable way. Everyone has to respect the other. Everything must be dealt with negotiations, not by imposing ideas or by what?
Involving in the internal matters of Sudan. If you know one thing about the sovereignty, in today's world, in this global society, there is nothing called the traditional conventional sovereignty. In issue of the Sudan, if you say the sovereignty, others are already involved. The rest of the nations are involved. Even Ethiopia is involved. Eritrea is involved. Chad is involved. Egypt must involve.
Involved in what?
Involving in the internal matters of Sudan. If the country is making chaos, if the president is brutalizing his population, are we saying because of the sovereignty, let him do what he's supposed to do? That's all days.
No, this is not what we're saying. We're saying that this is an issue that the Sudanese people
of course
have to solve. I mean, when the Egyptian people had a problem with how their government was doing business, they took it in their hands to change how things are. Same thing in Tunisia. Same thing is taking place in Yemen. I mean, I'm saying that the people of the nation decide their fate.
This is principle must be respected.
This is an answer to the request that Egypt interferes. How can Egypt interfere in a very sovereign choice? I mean, it's the Sudanese people who have to decide who will govern their country.
There is a mutual interest.
We intervene in the negotiation between the two parties to convince every party to go to negotiation to solve this problem. But about the regime, what is doing and the government what is doing wrong or right, this is as you said exactly. This is for Sudanese people, either in north or in south.
In 2005, in a peace deal, Abiy was promised that it will also have a choice in whether it wants to be with the South or the North. Does this mean that Sudan, as we had known it in history, will be further disintegrated? And the events that are taking place nowadays, does this mean there will be more than North-South, but maybe North-South, Abiy, Kurdogan, I don't know what, I mean, that this phase of this is just the beginning. The North-South is just the beginning.
You know, when you start on the route of tearing your house, there is always another corner that you go and tear it. And
it's endless.
And endless. It is true that is the way that is South came to the conclusion that we need to live to separate. It came after a long experience that is nobody was intervening to make those choices. Now. And soon, if this is festered and keep right now, and soon, if this is festered and continue, they could ask for same treatment as the South. The Blue Niles, also they have this kind of public consultations. They have that also in their mind. So Sudan is going on, it's on the brink of it's reminding me of, so we'll try to intervene to solve it. There's no better country to understand the nature of Sudan than Egypt. That's why Egypt is they need...
Dr. Ali, you're adamant that Egypt plays a strong role. Well, the Sudanese president...
our issue is, the trouble is in Abiy now and Kordofan, not the regime in Khartoum or in Juba. The matter now, what to be discussed, is to discuss...
Dr. Ali, you're adamant that Egypt plays a strong role. Well, the Sudanese president...
our issue is, the trouble is in Abiy now and Kordofan, not the regime in Khartoum or in Juba. The matter now, what to be discussed, is to discuss the ways of bringing the two parties together to discuss peacefully the matter of Abiy.
The Sudanese president has said that he will not recognize the independence of the South unless they unclaim, let go of Abiy.
You know, I personally wouldn't take him serious because He makes his decisions on the public forums. It is not a policy speech. It's a jubilant moment that will just be exciting. And with all those music and the fanfares, he'll come and make those announcements. And tomorrow he will forget what he said. Because if you remember, one time he was saying he's adamant about the international troops, the UN will never
gentleman's vision into we have a minute to wrap up, but before I do so, I would like to get your vision, both of you, gentlemen's vision, into where is Sudan heading, Your Excellency?
What do you mean?
Where is Sudan heading? With what we're seeing right now, where do you think Sudan is heading?
There is no way except coming to the negotiating table. There is no other way. Whatever Salva Kiir declares or whatever al-Bashir declares, this is political for the people. But for the reality, for the solving problems, for the international community, for the big powers, there is no way for solving the 3-4 major problems of South and North, borders, BI, petrol, identity of the people, tribes, all these kind of things must be negotiated. There is no other way. And we have understood before, and we said that after usually using force or after war, there must be sitting on the
negotiating
to the table.
Dr. Ali, you have a few seconds.
You know, the country is heading towards a chaos, heading towards anarchy, heading towards lawless jungle, and that cannot be averted unless the regime change. Just like the springs of the Alps that is in this region, if we need to see that the democracy is the only solution for the crisis in Sudan, democratic transformations, and the rule of law.
Well, Dr. Ali, nothing scratches your skin better than your own nails. I'd like to wrap up on that note. I'd like to thank you, gentlemen, for your fruitful input. I'd like to thank you, the viewers. Tomorrow, same time, another debate. Stay tuned to Now International, and good night.
Mesdames, Mesdemoiselles et Messieurs, bonsoir et bienvenue à cette nouvelle édition de l'Ambassadeur. Ce soir, nous avons le plaisir d'être reçus au siège de l'ambassade du Canada en Égypte et surtout le plaisir d'être en compagnie de son Excellence l'ambassadeur du Canada en Égypte, Monsieur Ferid de Kerkhove. Bonsoir, Votre Excellence.
Bonsoir, bonsoir Madame, bonsoir Monsieur. Bonsoir.
Merci bien pour l'attente et merci de nous avoir reçus au siège de l'ambassade.